all. My name is Jasmine Jones. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. Today, we are reviewing Euphoria Season 2, Episode 7, The Theater, and its double. And we are sipping on, what is it? Sunny Delight and vodka, yes. Tastes like elementary school with some alcohol in it. Anyway, so Lexi went and did her play, y'all, and it was good. And I'm assuming that either she thought before putting in the scenes we got a little preview of her sister having a meltdown, or those were just pretend scenes of Imagination Land, because we've had a lot of juxtaposition of Imagination Land and real life in this show. I don't usually talk about the titles that go along with the show because it's probably deeper meanings and whatever the fuck, but it really was a theater and it's double. We saw real life shit that the characters actually went through in the play. We saw the actual play version and the real life doubled over on top of it. We saw shit that was just for artistry, like Kat dancing with her cat mask on and things like that. Things that Lexi couldn't possibly know about. And the piece de resistance, we saw Nate get a whole read, and I just feel like, it was homophobic. But at the same time, it felt so good to see him just crumble. It was wrong, but it was right in so many fucking ways. Fuck that nigga. You shouldn't out somebody. You shouldn't do some homophobic rendition of what they could possibly be going through without their permission. You shouldn't do any of those things, but fuck that nigga Nate. I'm glad he got what he deserved, and I'm glad he was embarrassed by it. He was embarrassed by his own evil closeted self, because it's not evil to be closeted, but it's evil to be closeted and then use the self-hatred you have in the closet to manipulate other people and hurt them because you can't face your own shit. That's the evil part. Yes. So and he's probably bi or pansexual and shit like that, who knows, but I don't give a fuck that nigga. But yeah, so anyways, we're just gonna be all over the place with this because the play was all over the place. We start off with, at Rue's dad's repast after his funeral, with Rue giving the speech about her dad and how Lexi absorbed that and realizing that she could never be what drugs were to Rue, because for Rue, drugs made the pain and the negative thoughts go away, but for Lexi, drugs made her only focus on the pain and the negative thoughts, because Lexi's drug of choice is to disassociate and go into movie land, and it is what it is. So we saw Lexi's friendship with Rue, and we've kind of not been paying attention to Lexi's friendship with Rue. We got an idea that they were best friends in the first season, but then we stopped seeing Lexi and Rue around each other, and we saw that kind of made Lexi feel a type of way, but we never really got to see Lexi that much, so it didn't really fucking matter. But now we see that, Lexi is a big piece of this show. She's that stable friend in the background that appears to be like perfect and shit, but is really falling apart just like everybody else on the inside. She's just passive and quiet and doesn't do drugs. We see Lexi asking Fez if he thinks it's okay for her to put on this play, and Fez, with his slow talking self, I think it's because of his brain injury. He probably talks like that in real life. It looks like he has some kind of injury in real life, and that scar on it's like Sanaa Lathan and the scar on her face that they sometimes will incorporate into the movies, like Love and Basketball and shit like that. I'm probably gonna do Love and Basketball, as we go into this eve of World War III. I'm also contemplating, just juxtapositioning all the things into this shit. We're about to go into World War III. God bless the Ukrainians. If you don't know, Google it. I don't feel like going in depth with it. I'm tired. I thought it was the aliens were going to come this year, but no, we're just going to go into the white supremacy of it all and go into World War III. And I planned a trip this year. And finally, when I plan a trip overseas, once again, just like in the beginning of the pandemic, when I plan a fucking trip, God is coming for me. So hopefully that doesn't happen, mostly for the Ukrainians, but also for my trip. I don't care. That's how it's personally affecting me. And I also have empathy for the men, women, and children over there. But we're getting off topic. I'm just upset. I had to intrude a little bit on that. Anyways, so Lexi is talking to Fez, and like I said, I think he had, like, that's why he talks a little slow, but he's really smart. I think he has like some kind of brain injury or some shit, because there's a giant scar on his head. God bless him and his giant scar. But he's telling her, like, I don't know how I would feel if somebody was talking about me in a play in my life without my permission. And so they're getting closer. They're growing things that shouldn't be growing because, Lexi, that's not your life. You know, on Fez's side, he was supposed to come to the play. She saved him a seat. He was getting ready for the play. And then Heroin Chic's boyfriend wants to come over, and this is the day that he wants to snitch. Or get information to snitch. So he's sitting on the couch, you know, with his phone on record. And Ash, well, first Heroin Chic is just walking around sad-faced and not knowing what to say and looking off in the distance and giving people the side eyes and all the things. And she's just like, you know, so you can tell something's up with her, but Ash hasn't caught on yet until he sees her talking to her boyfriend on the couch. And then Ash is just looking at them because Ash is up on game. Fez is regular. Ash, I really do think, is, you know, conduct disorder on his way to antisocial personality disorder. So he's just clocking every fucking thing. He's hyper focused on everything outside of himself. And so he's noticing that they're whispering a lot. Why are they whispering a lot? Why does bitch keep looking at me with these sad eyes and them big ass Is that how she look in real life? You know, I'm just wondering, like, why? I mean, like, yes, black women are beautiful goddesses. But, you know, white women have their own unique whatevers that they can highlight. That's all I'm saying, because when you try to highlight shit that isn't on you, that hasn't grown from you, it just makes you look worse a lot of the times. You know, it's supposed to be these small little tweaks here and there with the surgeries. Not, I'm going to blow my lips up to the size of blown up condoms and throw them on my face. So she's just looking. And then, you know, Fez is getting ready for this play. He never makes it, by the way. You know, right when he's like, Heroin Chic is helping him put his suit on. She like made him, she like steamed his shirts and was doing all of the extras and whatevers. And, you know, she just keeps looking sadder and sadder in the face. But, of course, Fez isn't clocking this. His head is in love, girl. He got the bushel of roses for this bitch. Just everything. Nigga, you are not in a position to be thinking about a relationship. Priorities. That's all I'm saying. Like, where are the priorities for these people? But they're kids, you know, they're all kids. I don't care. He may be out of school, but he's still kid-minded until he's about 25? Yeah, I think that's when they said that's the new age for when the frontal lobe stopped developing, somewhere around 24, 25. So he's not there yet. He's not, no. He's not there. Ash is there because he's conduct disorder. So when you have a personality disorder and shit, and you don't feel anything inside, you hyper focus on everything outside, especially the things that do make you feel stuff, like horny or angry, you know? And so he's hyper focusing on everything around him. And he's noticing all the things that are off. And so he's clocking this shit. So, you know, Fez walks into the room. Ash goes and gets his little box cutter situation knife. I don't know if he had a gun or knife, whatever he had. I think he had a gun. I don't fucking know. Ash be ready to kill niggas. So I think he had a box cutter. And so he goes and sits over by, you know, Heroin Chic's boyfriend. And he just sitting there staring that nigga down like, bitch. Say something, bitch. This nigga can tell Ash is onto him. Because Ash the one that hit that nigga in the forehead with a hammer. Like, the fuck? So Ash sitting there just staring at that nigga. Now, in the next promo, it looked like Fez on the floor with blood splattered across his ass and shit. I don't think shit happened to Fez. I think Ash Ketchum stabbed that nigga in the throat. and blood splattered everywhere, and Fez just got on the floor. Because that's what Fez did the last time that nigga jumped up and did a karate chop and foreheaded that nigga with a hammer. So I don't think Fez, because I put all my faith in Ash Ketchum's abilities to kill people. Like, that's why that nigga is scared of him. Like, why y'all think Fez is dead? Why y'all think Fez is, really? Y'all thought Fez, girl, Fez ain't dead. And I'm mad we're coming up on the last episode and we still ain't said shit about paying this bitch back her money. So, you know what? I think Fez and Ash are probably just gonna go to jail in juvie. You know, I don't think they're gonna die. Or they may just put it on Heroin Chic and her boyfriend and figure out a way to do that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Right. So we leave them off. He never makes it to the play. Lexi is looking forlornly at his seat every single time. She's going through Cassie and Maddie's friendship and how they met and how and she was scared of Maddie because Maddie was so confident and she didn't give a fuck, and that means she didn't trust her until Maddie stayed over at their house because her parents were arguing and fighting and cussing and wussing. Yep. And, you know, her and Cassie became closer because, you know, everybody parents is fucked up, you know, and people were cheering on Lexi's mom in the audience who was going off. One, she was drunk. Two, she probably was proud to see that her child did something creative. Three, she's still a neglectful bitch that created the children that she did. Because if dad leaves, gets as an addict, whatever, that's sad. But it's the backbone of the family, the parent that stays. That's supposed to keep that shit together. That's supposed to clock that your children are spiraling from this and send them to therapy. So no, I don't care that she was cheering them on. She's trash because the way Cassie is her fault. She influenced Cassie to go to the fucking college party where she fucking almost saw McKay get raped or whatever the fuck. She out here don't like herself because she ain't never had a good example of a woman being treated right by a man. You know, it's her fault. She ain't being a good mom. And so I can't be excited. I can't be like, oh, she's so cute. I love her mother. She just is encouraging. One time motherfucking see this bitch be encouraging in a positive way. And all of a sudden, I love this bitch. She was giving her underage children alcohol at a party. This bitch spiraled because her mom is a neglectful hoe. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that bitch. The star of this motherfucker is Ethan. He deserves an Oscar. He played 4 different parts. He played Cassie and Lexi's mom. He played their dad. He played gay Nate. He was doing a damn thing, bitch. Like, the fuck? Like, he was doing all of it. I was just like, I thought Ethan was gonna turn into some weird ass controlling motherfucker, because when they went to that bowling alley in the beginning of the season and he was looking all fucky in the face at Kat and her friends and shit, I was like, oh, what if he's like controlling and doesn't want her around her friend? No, he was looking at them because they're a bad influence on her. And that's why she act the way she act. And he was clocking that shit because Ethan is amazing. He's an amazing little nerdy man. And you know, if he had the body to go with the person, then he would be my type. Yes, that is the personality. That is what we want. He's an artiste. He's out here acting. He's mature. He can break up with a bitch and be like, you know what, but he can also show love. He was giving all his love to that bitch. Kissed her on the mouth when she invited him to that diner. Was still giving love all the way up until the point that she started bullshitting him. Then he was like, bitch, he wasn't needy. He wasn't like all of trying to beg and plead. He was just like, okay, well, if you don't want to be with me, I'm not about to deal with this shit. I gotta go. And that's what it's supposed to be like. Like, cry later by yourself. Fuck that bitch. Yes, Ethan is the hero. Fuck all this. Kat gotta get her shit together. But Kat, like all them other, you know, Regina George girls and shit and her friends and stuff, she's like that. Just insecure, don't like herself, and just mean. And so Kat got some learning to do and some growing up to do. So Ethan is almost there. Ethan is almost there. When he's an adult, he's gonna be an amazing adult. Probably gonna be a billionaire and help people and be a philanthropist and some shit. Who knows? The nigga can act though. He out here doing the damn thing. So yes, one thing art departments, theater departments in high schools don't have that type of budget for this type of play. Two things. This shit would not fly. All these hoes she would have had her play rejected in real life. You ain't gonna sit up here and talk about real people in the school, bitch, and not get expelled. You know, the counselor would have read that screenplay and been like, you know what, this sounds like some of the students in our school. Do you need help, little girl? Do you need a therapist? Let me get you a school contracted therapist to come in here and help you. No. But this is Euphoria High. This isn't real life. Third thing. What was the third thing? I'm gonna think of the third thing. I forgot what the third thing was. But no, third thing. Are these bitches the popular bitches in the school? Because everybody in that school, if they ain't, they is now. They know who they are now, bitch. I think they are, though, because Cassie and Maddie are cheerleaders, so they're usually popular and shit. Nate plays football, and I think he's the quarterback, so he's popular. Rue and Jules, I'm just like, are they the school crackheads or whatever? Like, maybe Rue is, but Jules probably got pulled into the school crackhead vibe when she started dating Rue. They sit in the audience making eyes at each other. Rue giving flashbacks, talking about how sometimes we meet in the bathroom at school and I see her, but we don't talk to each other because y'all still like each other. Rue had a whole drug addict meltdown. That's what that was. So the reason why I think that, I'm on the fence about whether or not they like each other or not, because I feel like Rue clocked that this bitch snitched on her. And I think snitching is in the African American blood. You don't snitch on shit. And so she snitched, and it was necessary, but the only person that fucked up in this situation was the mom for flushing the fucking drugs down the toilet. But it is what it is. I think she triggered that African American sense of, we don't snitch. You don't tell on me, bitch. What is wrong? And I'm just like, and so I think there's a sense there. And also I think she knows how serious this is. There's a hint that she knows how serious this is. Like, you can put my family, our lives in danger and shit. The way she was running through that house, I think for some reason she thinks this bitch ain't gonna find her though after that whole situation and she escaped that bitch's house. And so it's in the back of her head. She ain't even thinking about it. This bitch been knowing where your address was, girl. This bitch been knowing what your real name is, girl. She ain't stupid, but whatever. Coming up on the last episode, we still ain't mentioned this white woman yet. Just a tragedy. But Fez and his little friend might go to jail and shit, so I just don't think Fez is dead. They could have killed him off the show, but I don't think he dead. So we end the play, and then we get to like that part where Maddie and Cassie had to sleep over and they was crying in each other's arms because they parents ain't shit. And Cassie get up and go to the bathroom and start crying because she know there's a hint there that she's aware that she's wrong and this nigga's manipulating her and all this other stuff. But then she just starts to look at herself in the mirror and realize that love is all you need to survive. Girl, that nigga doesn't love you. You are in love with the idea of love. That nigga is out here playing you for shit. He doesn't care about you. And it's funny because they did this little scene where like apparently she was like on top of Nate talking about control me, tell me what to do. I want to be your robot and whatever.
I think that's my biggest dream. To be your girl. I love you more than anything.
Like, it's cool. It would be cool and cute if it was BDSM. If it was, because in BDSM there's like rules and we actually see each other as people and I care about if this hurts you too much. That's why there's a safe word. I'm not just gonna go overboard and attempt to do things that actually hurt your feelings and shit like that. Like, I'm gonna check in with you. There's going to be a time after we have our play where we decompress and I'm going to take care of you and we're going to take care of each. There's a whole system to a BDSM relationship, okay? That's not it though. She out here wanting to be controlled by this nigga because she doesn't have any self-esteem. And this nigga's taking advantage of that. And you know how it's taking advantage of that? You know how you know he ain't shit and he don't give a fuck about her? Soon as Lexi put the last part of play on and made that nigga look gay, had a whole bukkake over a bunch of niggas and shit. It was amazing. I love Nate's face. He was just sitting there like he wanted to explode. He was doing the Arthur fist like, this bitch. Shit. But he wasn't gonna do it in front. I wanted him to go off in front of everybody. He watched the thing the whole way through until the bukkake, and then when everybody was laughing, he got up and walked the fuck out. And Cassie followed him. As soon as he walked out, I was just like, he about to beat the shit out of Cassie. Cause that's what them narcissistic niggas do. When they feelings is hurt by anything, they go towards the victim. Their victim. They hurt their victim because their victim is their emotional punching bag or the real punching bag or both. And so I knew that bitch Cassie was about to get it. And I didn't know what he was going to do though. I thought he really was going to beat her ass and shit. But no. He basically told her,
hey, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
She's your fucking sister. No, you know what? Pack your shit, get the fuck out of my house. I'm fucking done.
Fuck you. That's your sister. You need to get out of my house. And Cassie went the fuck. Something broke inside of her brain. Because she was like, I did all this work. All these things just for him to leave. Girl, you never had this nigga. This nigga over here fantasizing about Jules. Fantasizing. He was dreaming about Jules. Then he was dreaming about Maddie. And then he dreamed that his dad was fucking him. And I was just like, did his dad molest him? I thought he just found his dad's sex tapes. Maybe that was just traumatic enough seeing his dad fucking a bunch of niggas and shit. And, you know, some trans folks. And he was just like traumatized to the nines and shit by the whole situation of seeing that and didn't know what to do with it. Maybe, but it's like, how does that skip over to your dad fucking around with you and shit? Like, I guess the mind is a mysterious place, y'all. And narcissists are just, yes. And so, you know, I feel like with the end scene, because if it was anybody else but Nate, niggas would be like, well, you can't just talk about gay people or the fact that he's gay as an insult. You know, pick anything else about him. But there's a lot of gay people in the world. Talk about him being an asshole and a dick. So I have to be fair and say that it was wrong. But fuck that nigga Nate. I love that he got his ass ran through and it was magical. He was so upset. It's like the Sanderson sisters. It's like you inhale the essence of angry narcissists. You inhale the essence of the haters. It's magical feeling. Like, I'm hulking up, bitch. I love to inhale the essence of haters. That's why I don't usually respond when people hate. I'm just like, I love it. You're just paying so much attention to me and I didn't even do nothing. I'm not even thinking about you and you're paying that much attention to me. You're just so focused on me and me and me. And I was it's magical how much attention you can get just by being confident and not giving a fuck. It's like people just hate that shit. Like, oh fucking well, bitch. So yes, for the reaction Nate has, I give it a 10. For the homophobia, that's not okay. They shouldn't have done that. There's gay people in the world that don't want to be outed and aren't manipulative or trash people, and that's not nice to out people in front of the world. And I'm saying what I'm supposed to be saying, even though on the inside I'm like, fuck that nigga Nate, he ain't shit. And so I'm just like, it's all this weird fence where you know that the thing that was done was wrong, but you don't give a fuck at this point because it was done to a nigga that deserved every last piece of it. Fuck. I don't know how to feel. What y'all think? Y'all think that shit was wrong? What they did tonight? You know? They could have done something else to him without outing him, but I don't give a fuck. Fuck that. See, it's just this back and forth tug of war. So Cassie is in her whole I'm spiraling space because the nigga that's been manipulating her, and what I didn't clock before but I'm remembering now is that when Cassie was going through her whole situation after Rue told on her to Maddie, and was it episode 6, the bloody trees or whatever the fuck, drops the blood from the trees, that shit is weird. And she was in the kitchen, or she was in the living room looking at her mom. And she was like, I don't know why people are saying I'm a bad person. And then I think it was her mom or it was Lexi that was just like,
no, I'm not going to tell you because you'll tell Nate. I don't fucking trust you.
No one does.
Yeah, because you fell in love with someone who spent years making fun of you. It's sad.
well, people don't think people think it's pathetic because this nigga's been making fun of you since you were a little kid, and then you still went after him. So this nigga's been grooming her. He's been a part of her deconstructing self-esteem. So her dad, other niggas that was fucking her, that nigga that put her naked pictures on the internet, McKay to a certain extent, and this nigga Nate been making fun of this bitch Cassie since she was a kid. So he's been a part of that. So he knows how deep her self-hatred goes, and he loves that shit all up until the point where she or someone close to her fights back and makes him look stupid. Yes. That shit was magical. So I'm still not gonna be upset with Cassie. I mean, I am upset with her because now she looking like she about to take it out on her sister. Did you see her look at her face? She was looking at the door at the place. I can't do it. I can't. She just looked like, I don't want to say crazy because she hasn't hurt anybody yet. She's not the type of person that has like purposely, like in a pattern like way, hurt other people to feel better. But she was going through some shit when she was looking through that door. And I just like, I don't know what she gonna do next. I think in the next preview, I think she jumped Lexi on the stage and shit. I'm just like, girl, it ain't Lexi. It ain't nobody but that nigga Nate, and she ain't gonna see that till she go to therapy. But who's there to take care of this child? Nobody. Her mama, the only time she's showing praise is when she's seeing Lexi do a fucking play. Nobody's suggesting that this bitch go to therapy, get help, do nothing whatsoever. And that's why I don't like her mom. Fuck that bitch, because that child could be a prostitute one day looking for love from these strange ass niggas and shit. You know what I mean? Like, and there's nothing against sex workers, but when you get into it because you have severe mental health issues and trauma and abuse, then it just makes that shit all the more worse unless you are completely in control of your money and how you do the sex work. And I don't think Cassie would be that way. I think Cassie would low-key be looking for niggas to love her, to feel like she is something, and would be tricked out on the street by some pimp. That's what I feel would happen to Cassie. And so, that could be avoided. That could be helped. That could be worked on. But because she got a trash ass mom that's not paying attention to her child's fast now mental deterioration, anything she could kill herself. She really could. I want to say low key she may be borderline. Borderline is when basically it's a personality disorder. I'll put like a little symptom whatever thing. But basically, it's a personality disorder that is connected to abandonment and a fear of abandonment. And I didn't want to say it before because it's like, but I feel like she may be borderline, and borderline and narcissists be having these wild ass relationships because neither of them want to be abandoned, but they're manipulating each other in different ways to not be abandoned. One person is manipulating the other person. The borderline is manipulating the narcissist so that they'll stay with them forever and never leave them. And then the narcissist is manipulating the borderline to be a part of the queue of bitches. To be a part of the supply that he has, the multiple supplies that he has. And so, or they, whatever. And so she may be borderline with the hysteria, the histrionics, causing issues and fights. extreme behaviors when she's drinking and stuff like that, because that's, the threatening of suicide and things. She could be, because if it was just Nate, then I could say that, oh, he pulled her completely into that shit. But no, it's been a multitude of dudes that she been acting just like, I'll do whatever you want, just love me with. And I think that she may be borderline. That, and like I said in other videos, I think borderline could be worked through. I've seen clients work through borderline personality disorder. That's why, like, a lot of people are iffy about even if it's a personality disorder, because people can be changed with that. And it's not necessarily a lack of empathy. They can change how they view the world. They don't have to always believe that people are going to abandon them, so they have to manipulate them to keep them with them. They don't always have to have these huge emotional breakdowns. Excuse me. What really works with borderline patients is DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy. And that's basically where they like get in touch with their emotions. They're active in their emotions. It's a mixture of CBT and mindfulness. Cognitive behavioral therapy is just kind of like, what you think in your mind is what you're going to do in life. If I think I'm going to fail a test and I keep thinking that shit over and over again, then I'm going to fail the test. I'm not going to do things to like pass the test. I'm not going to study. I'm not going to ask for help. I'm not going to ask for extra credit, because I already decided I'm going to fail the test. But like CBT basically tells you, okay, if you can change your thought patterns, you can change your actions. Mindfulness takes it to another level where it's like, where did that thought pattern come from? Is it in the past, something that happened in the past that you're bringing into the present? Or is it based off this present situation right now? What do you need to be responding to? Do you need to be responding to this present situation and let go of those past things? Do you need to work through the past things and realize this present situation isn't the past anymore? So it's like, it's a mixture of those two things. Mindfulness just helps you get more in touch with the emotional process behind the thought and helps you to stay present in your present environment. So DBT can work a lot with people with borderline personality disorder, y'all. So I don't even think Cassie is unfixable. I don't even put her in the same category as Nate. If she is borderline, then, she can work through that shit. She can work through that shit. Like, she snitched on Fez for this nigga. This nigga that's been making fun. That's what Lexi said. This nigga that's been making fun of you since childhood, doesn't like you, never liked you as a person, bitch, and now all of a sudden he wants to be with you. He's Regina Georging you, bitch. No, you never trust a Regina George. You never trust a bitch that's been mean to you, has a pattern of being mean to you for a long period of time, and all of a sudden they're being nice. Oh, that's sway. No, bitch, I don't trust you. I'm not going to the party you invited me to. I'm not eating this food you want to give me. I'm not hanging out with you. What are you talking about? You've been mean to me all this. Why would I trust that you suddenly changed? Because she wants to be liked, because she wants to be loved, particularly by men, because her dad is an addict who has abandoned the family, and she's searching for her dad, everybody else. And because she's a child, I'm going to give it to her, because she's a child and she doesn't know what's happening, and she has a parent to monitor her who isn't monitoring her. Okay? And don't act like none of y'all ain't never been there. Varying degrees probably, but y'all been there where you've been attached to some fuck shit ass person that was manipulating you. Even a simple fuck boy. You ain't even gotta go up to narcissists. A simple fuck boy that is, one day he's giving you flowers and candy, the next day you haven't heard from him in 2 days. What happened? And then when he comes back, he's got some lame ass excuse. I had a brain tumor. So we've all been in some varying degrees like Cassie. Lonely, and maybe not all of us, because some of us, these Gen Zers, they lucked up and got Instagram and social media to like be throwing memes at them about mental health and narcissists. Well, people from the 90s didn't have that. We had the Lifetime channel, and that's where I learned that these niggas can lay in wait and up until your fucking wedding night, and then beat the shit out of you. Just be nice and wonderful in a whole relationship. 2 years, whatever. And then on the wedding night, beat the fucking dog shit out you. And that made me scared of men for a long time when I saw it in movies. There was multiple movies like that on Lifetime. And I was just like, so they can just sneak attack you like that? Like they can just pretend? That's why I always say you got to look at how people treat themselves and other people before how they treat you, because that is where the patterns will lie. And over a few months, 2 years of just dating and shit like that, you should get a decent idea. It raises such a statistics that you will see this shit before it hits the fan. And then you got to leave, girl. You got to go, bitch. I don't care how much you love that nigga. You see that pattern develop in any way that this person treats their family or themselves, talking negative about themselves all the time, talking down to people around them, gossipy all the time, like saying semi-abusive, sexist, racist things and then laughing it off and like it's a joke and shit like that. Treating the waiter. And I'm not saying this is foolproof or 100%. I'm saying it raises the statistics so you can still date and not be totally afraid of these niggas out here. Okay? It raises the statistic that you will meet a decent fucking person that won't lay in wait and sneak attack you on your wedding night. Horrible. But yeah, Gen Zers probably got it better than we did in the 90s and shit. But people still going through shit like this. So she's a child. She's a fucking child. She may have borderline. She needs intensive therapy. She needs DBT. She'll probably be better once she gets it. But I think she's going to beat Lexi ass. So Lexi, her play didn't display the things that we thought it was. So it wasn't embarrassing. Nobody was really upset except for Nate and Cassie. So she don't get her ass beat by Cassie. Hopefully Nate doesn't. He looked really, he might kill her. This might be where we see Nate kill somebody. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Nate might kill somebody. So, I don't know what's going to happen next. We're on our last episode on Sunday. I'm feeling a type of way because we're still not addressing this white woman. It's been renewed for 2 or 3 more seasons, but if we go into World War III, what's going to happen? This may be the last season, y'all. We may have to hunker down. Us poor people that can't afford houses or bunkers, we're just going to die. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't fucking know what's going to happen. I low-key just want America just to stay out of it. We don't need to be a part of World War III. Let them white people over there in Europe take care of it. But then I'm just like, them poor Ukrainians need the extra help and shit. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Because I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. Are we going to die? Is that going to be the next episode? Are we all going to fucking die? I don't fucking know. Who knows? I'm tired. Yes, I just, What did y'all think of the show? My mind has been all over the place. Too many things are happening and shit. I hope all y'all are well and happy and, doing great things and shit like that. I need to get my money up so I can get a boat and sail the fuck away to some deserted island somewhere. Me and Poof on a fucking boat. Right, Poof? Now? She didn't do it back. Sometimes she does it back. But yeah. So in the next episode, my predictions is Cassie gonna get her ass beat. This is from the promo. I don't feel Fez is dead. I feel like that nigga did a karate chop and chopped that nigga's throat in half and shit. Ash Ketchum did, and there's blood splatter everywhere. And Fez just like landed on the floor because what was he supposed to do? Ash Ketchum's gonna do what Ash Ketchum wants to do, and they're probably going to go to jail, or juvie or whatever. And maybe there'll be more mention of this white woman hovering in the background. Maybe she will kill... Don't be in the way. Let me see. There you go. And maybe she will come and kill Rue and her whole family. That's horrible. That's horrible. We're about to go to World War III. Nothing's worse than that. So... where her grandparents were and shit. Nigga, like, or, you know, and who else? Nate, he may murder Lexi, or he may go after Jules and want to be with her. Who fucking knows? And, you know, it was a lot. It was a lot in that play. It was a good play though. She did that. Theater departments in high schools don't have that much money though. Like, I wasn't seeing plays like that when I was in high school. I mean, it was good. They could act and shit, but they ain't got money like that. Nah. And in real life, that shit wouldn't have happened. That shit would not have happened. So, I hope that you enjoyed this review. I tried to make it a little bit shorter because the play was all over the place. A bunch of shit was happening. But I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And later days.